Welcome. Bienvenidos. Please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem, performed by the PCC Chamber Choir at Rock Creek, directed by Samuel Barbara. Thank you. You may now be seated. Hello, my name is Vicky Lopez Sanchez. My pronouns are she, ella, and I am the Vice President of Student Affairs. And tonight, with Dr. Jennifer Ernst, Vice President of Academic Affairs, we will be serving as the Masters of Ceremonies. On behalf of the board, administration, faculty, and staff, I welcome you to Portland Community College 2026 Commencement Ceremony. And thank you for joining us on this special occasion. As we gather to celebrate the achievements of our graduates, we take a moment to honor the original stewards of this land. We are privileged to be here today on the traditional lands of Multnomah, Wasco, Cowlitz, Calumet, Clackamas, Bands of Chinook, Tualatin Kalapuya, Malala, and many others who made their homes along the Columbia River. At this time, I would like to introduce the PCC faculty and staff. Faculty and staff, please stand if you are able to be acknowledged. I would also like to introduce Acting President, Dr. Katie Ho, Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Jennifer Ernst, Vice President, Chief Financial Services and Business Services, Chris Kinsley, tonight's student speaker, Christopher Pierce, tonight's keynote speaker, Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici. Finally, I would also like to recognize our board members who are joining us tonight. Brandy Penner, Zone 4, Greg McKelvey, Zone 6, Gina Sanchez-Roletto, Zone 7, Fareja Nayabare, Student Trustee. It is our privilege and honor to recognize the students who are graduating this year. Some of these students will cross the stage accompanied by stoles and cords of various colors. The stoles represent membership in our 2-year honor society, Phi Theta Kappa. Yellow cords recognize our students who graduate with the highest honors, achieving a cumulative GPA of 3.75 or higher. The college also honors our veterans who have served in the military by offering them red, white, and blue cords to wear this evening. These graduates have put themselves in harm's way for our freedom, and we thank them for their service. We also celebrate our students who will be continuing their academic journey at Portland State University with the green and white cords. While we wish our best to the class of 2026, we know this isn't the end. Rather, it's the beginning of a new chapter for our graduates, from students to alumni. Graduates, you are still part of the PCC family and always will be. You are simply in a different part of the family, and it's a large family. A very large family of over 1 million alumni and counting. In this role, you will serve as shining examples of what is possible to future PCC students who follow in your footsteps. For this, we thank you. For all that you do out in the world as PCC's most newly minted alumni, we thank you.
Family and friends, can we do another big round of applause for your graduates here tonight? Good evening, good evening. Tonight is a celebration of achievement, but it is also a celebration of the opportunity that is ahead of each of you here. To the class of 2026, each of you arrived at PCC with your own goals, your own story, and your own reason for pursuing an education. Some of you attended class before work. Some rushed to campus after long shifts. Some cared for children, parents, partners, or loved ones while pursuing your education. Some served in the military or returned to school after many years away from the classroom. Some of you here are the first in your family to reach this milestone. Some of you are preparing for a new career, and others are continuing your educational journey. While the paths that have led you to this moment may be different, tonight you share something incredible. You made it. I hope you take a moment tonight to appreciate what you all have accomplished, celebrate the milestone, reflect on how far you have come, be proud of the work it took for you to get here. Then look forward, because while tonight honors what you've accomplished, it's also a celebration of what lies ahead. On behalf of the entire PCC community, congratulations, class of 2026. We are proud of you, we believe in you, and we cannot wait to see what you do next.
Good evening. I have the honor of introducing a premier collegiate choral ensemble, the PCC Chamber Choir at Rock Creek. These highly skilled singers are all community college students from the Portland metro area, led by Dr. Samuel Barbara, PCC Director of Choral and Vocal Studies at the Rock Creek campus. We welcome the PCC Chamber Choir at Rock Creek to now perform. Thank you to the PCC Chamber Choir at Rock Creek and Dr. Barbara. That performance was exceptional. Tonight's student speaker, Christopher Pierce, is graduating with an Associate of Arts Oregon transfer and an Associate of Science degree, and a 4.0 GPA with highest honors. This first-generation college student, husband, and father of two returned to school at age 42 after years of hardship to become an accomplished writer and future educator. It is my honor to introduce this inspiring individual. Please join me in warmly welcoming Christopher Pierce to the podium.
Thank you for that warm introduction. Whew, there's a lot of people here. Distinguished faculty, esteemed professors and instructors, honored guests, friends, family, and most of all, my fellow graduates of the class of 2026. We made it, Panthers. Congratulations. My name is Christopher Pierce, and I come before you as a non-traditional first-generation student. Like many of you, my path to this day has been one of hardship and difficulty. I dropped out of high school, I spent years homeless, and I did not earn my GED until I was 29, and being here today is something that I never thought was possible. Speaking at commencement is my chance to stand in front of those who fought for their degrees the way that I fought for mine, to say that what we accomplished matters, that the difficulty that you embraced and overcame is something that you should be proud of for the rest of your life. I want every non-traditional first-generation student, every parent who studied when their children went to bed, to hear someone on this stage that knows that the struggle was real. I am that someone who rejoices in our shared accomplishment. It has not been an easy year for this college, or its students and instructors, and I imagine that each and every one of us has a story about the struggle it took for us to get here today. And I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the unique difficulty we experienced throughout the historic PCC strike. But I say this on behalf of the students and the faculty. We embraced that difficulty, we overcame, and here we are, making this Coliseum resound with a celebration of our accomplishments.
That's right.
I have come to believe that difficulty is the substance of a meaningful life. As a creative writer and a student, I would like to share a short story with you tonight about a mountain and a math class. Last summer at 2:30 in the morning, I stood in the parking lot of Devil's Lake in Central Oregon, about to climb South Sister, a 12-mile slog up and down a steep mountain. I had never hiked a trail that difficult, and I was apprehensive of my ability to do so. As I ascended through the midnight trees, I could see in the distance a flashlight in the forest bobbing ahead of me, and I thought to myself that if they could do it, then so could I. As the sun came up many miles later, I thought I could see the top of the mountain, but as I got closer, I realized it was only a false summit. Ahead of me was the Red Mile, a crimson smear of volcanic rock rising over 1,000 feet. I looked up at that red screen and I thought, no way. My legs were quivering, my breath heaving, and what towered over me felt impossible. I thought about how disappointed I would be in myself if I gave up. I thought about that flashlight I had seen in the trees, and I repeated to myself what I had told myself earlier, that if they could do it, so could I. An hour later, and not even halfway up, I stopped to catch my breath, and as I looked down the mountain, I saw something moving incredibly fast on the trail below me. I stared because my brain just could not process what it was seeing. There was a person running up the mountain. As he passed, he pulled out some trekking poles, and with a cheerful wave, he was off quick as you like. Before I had gone another mile, he was already on his way back down. I had to remind myself not to compare my progress with his. We all travel our own distance in our own time. It took me over 10 hours to summit and return to my car, and when I was done, I ached all over with a superhuman thrill of accomplishment. I had conquered a difficulty, even if it was just a small one. And although South Sister was tough, it does not compare to my first pre-calculus class at PCC. I had not taken a math class in over 24 years, and I remember feeling this intense vertigo. I had a wonderful instructor. Her name was Rebecca Ross, and despite her great instruction and me staying up late every night practicing on Alex, I received a 67% on my first major exam. By midterms, I was sure I was going to fail. It felt like staring up at that red mile. I emailed Professor Ross telling her that I was going to withdraw, but she wrote back to me and she said that I was doing much better than I thought, to keep at it. For the rest of the term, I took her words to heart, and I grappled with that elusive foe, my old nemesis, college math. By the completion of the final exam, I had raised my grade to an A by the slimmest of whiskers. Months later, that success helped give me the determination to climb a mountain, because I had been through far worse. I had surmounted the quadratic formula. As I said at the beginning of my speech, my path to this day has been one of hardship. As an orphan, I grew up in foster homes, adoptive homes, and youth detention centers. Looking back at that time in my life feels like a ripping and tearing at an old wound, like a madness and a mourning, and the broiler house in between. For most of my life, I thought I would never achieve anything. And in a lot of ways, that was the real mountain that I had to overcome. In 2023, I embraced that difficulty of returning to college. And at 42, I enrolled at PCC. My first semester, I got straight A's, and I realized my fellow graduates, we all have our own mountains to overcome. Many of our journeys have had false summits and moments of doubt. Some of us looked up at the mountain and we thought, no way, while others were able to run up and down it with ease. The point is to embrace the difficulties that life offers. The future will undoubtedly present to each and every one of us countless obstacles and challenges that will demand more from us than we think we have to give. We must in turn demand ourselves to keep going, even when we want to quit. From these experiences, we acquired the qualities of tenacity, fortitude, determination, and hope. It is from these traits that our aspirations become accomplishments. As we take our next steps into the future, class of 2026, I ask of you to embrace difficulty, because it is by overcoming challenges that we live a meaningful life. Thank you.
Christopher, thank you so much for sharing your story and such inspirational words. You are truly the embodiment of PCC's mission, so congratulations. Now, please join me in giving a warm PCC welcome to our 2026 commencement speaker, Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici. Congresswoman Bonamici is a champion of public education. In Congress, she is a leader on the House Education and Workforce Committee and a ranking member of the Early Childhood, Elementary, and Secondary Education Subcommittee and co-chairs the bipartisan Congressional STEAM Caucus. Not only has she long advocated for equity in educational policy and funding, she attended Lane Community College in Eugene before earning her law degree from the University of Oregon. She understands PCC and fights for everyone's opportunity to succeed. Welcome, Congresswoman.
Well, thank you so much, President Ho. Thank you to the board members at PCC. Thank you to the faculty and staff and families and community, but especially to the graduates. Welcome. Today is your day. And thank you to Christopher for sharing your incredibly inspiring story. I'm going to start by recognizing that you have earned your degree, credential, or certificate during a very challenging time. And as I reflect on the moment, what stands out to me is your incredible perseverance despite the current landscape, despite efforts to dismantle the U.S. Department of Education, despite efforts to cut financial support for students. You understood and understand that investing in education is the best decision you can make. And I agree 100%. Your education is an investment, not just in you in your future, but in the future of our state and our country and our world. You know, in the past few years, I've seen a lot of resilience and a lot of resistance. I've seen students and community members come together and look out for each other. In the face of terrifying ICE raids in Oregon and across the country, you've protested, you stood up, you supported each other, you organized mutual aid. Now, I serve on the U.S. House of Representatives Committee on Education and the Workforce. And what I truly appreciate is the time I spend in classrooms and on campuses here in Northwest Oregon. And perhaps more than any other visit, tour, or meeting, it's the time I spend with students that gives me the most optimism and hope for the future, and guidance about the policies that we need. I'm encouraged by students who ask thoughtful questions and insightful questions about some of the most pressing issues facing our nation. I'm inspired by students who advocate forcefully for humane immigration reform and environmental protection. And recently, I've been very understanding when students question artificial intelligence and what it means for the future. Understanding because we need students to improve, not replace their critical thinking skills. Artificial means not natural, right? Something that feels insincere, a copy or a substitute. So what I want to say to you graduates, as you go into the future, the AI I know you will need is your actual intelligence. So I am truly moved by first-generation students and so many dreamers who have overcome significant barriers to succeed in school. Some may be struggling with poverty, parenting, housing, food insecurity, balancing multiple jobs to pay tuition, and they still show up ready to learn because they know that education can and will open doors to opportunity. And the stories I have heard from students, especially at community colleges who are going back for a fresh start, like Christopher's story, a new career, a better opportunity, those stories and the students who told them, those stories have stayed with me. They and you are resilient and strong. And as a policymaker, I see you, I hear you, and I will always be a champion for education generally and community colleges specifically. Community colleges, I agree. Because community colleges are a really critical part of our education system. And they're also a critical part of my story. After high school, I didn't go to college because I didn't know what I was going to do. I was in search of an adventure, wanted to forge my own path, so I piled in a van with some friends and headed west from Michigan. We ended up in Eugene, and I started volunteering at Legal Aid. And that sparked an interest in the law. So I enrolled in the legal assistant program at Lane Community College. I worked hard and then went on to earn my bachelor's in law degrees from the University of Oregon. And because I was on my own, I used grants, loans, food stamps, work study job. That all helped me pay for my education. And at Legal Aid, I know from the Oregonians I worked with who are struggling, I know and I learned that everyone has a story. And that meaningful change starts with listening to those experiences and understanding them. And this work led me to work as a consumer protection attorney. And I can say unequivocally that the lessons I learned in community college and the lessons I learned at Legal Aid shaped my future in ways I could not imagine at the time. And I'm confident that your experiences at PCC will shape your future as well. likely in ways that you can't yet imagine, because our paths do not always lead to places we anticipate. Yours may not either, and mine certainly didn't. I wasn't expecting to be here. So here at graduation, reflecting on the value of education, I'm going to offer just a few pieces of advice for you to keep in mind no matter what path you take. Make the world a better place. We need that now. Speak out against injustice. Speak up for someone who needs support. Plant a community garden. Join a union or start one, because the voice of workers matters on the job. Practice kindness. Be kind. Treat people with respect. Go out of your way to help someone. Reach out to a friend or a neighbor who's struggling. Volunteer at Meals on Wheels, or help an elderly neighbor with their errands. Be a good listener and a lifelong learner. Listen to and read about and discuss a wide range of viewpoints, even if you don't agree with them, and find some common ground when you can. It's not always easy. Stay true to your values and act with integrity. This is really critical in today's world. Your values will help you make decisions, guide your actions, and remind you what's important. And I learned my core values from my mom. So I grew up near Detroit, Michigan, and at the time, the church where my family was attending, where my mom was the organist, they wouldn't take a stand for civil rights and against the Vietnam War, so my mom knew that was wrong, and she said, we're gonna go to a different church where the leadership would speak up. I was young when that happened, but my mom's decision made a lasting impression on me, taught me, don't just speak up, do something about it, and I've sought to live my values and act with that integrity. Make art part of your life. I saw what happened in this room that choir was singing, right? Do something creative, paint or draw, write poetry. It's never too late to learn how to play an instrument. Experiment making things in the kitchen, dance and sing, and seek out and appreciate art. Our former US Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, said, music is medicine. Music is medicine. And he was right, the arts are healing, and we can all use a good dose of healing right now. Music and art bring us together. They help us consider different perspectives. They help us feel joy even in challenging times. So make art part of your life. And as Christopher said, be bold, apply for a job or start a project that might be a stretch. Challenge yourself. If you fall, you'll get back up again, and your path may not be linear, and that's okay. Learn to bounce back after a mistake and overcoming failure. That shows strength and resilience. And finally, appreciate your team always. Say thank you to your friends and family and those who stood up for you and believed in you. Maybe it was a neighbor, a high school teacher, a member of the faculty here at PCC who knew you could do it even if you doubted yourself. Say thank you and then be a champion for others. You give me hope. You will be the leaders of our social services, public offices, local businesses, our healthcare system, our infrastructure workforce, and more. And I am confident that with the experience you have and the joy, that you will leave the world a better place than you found it. I know you'll also have struggles, we all do, but you are resilient, and you have your friends, your family, your community, your PCC community, and a congresswoman cheering for you. So wherever you go, whatever path you take, go with integrity, go with open eyes, an open mind, and an open heart. You have what you need to thrive, to make positive change, and to be not only a participating member of society, but one who takes the lead in your work and in your community. You, each and every one of you, will help to build a better future. Congratulations to the Portland Community College graduating class of 2026. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Congresswoman Bonamici, for spending some time with us and being a champion for PCC and community colleges. Now, this is the time you've all been waiting for. It's time to award the degrees and certificates to our students. Members of the board, faculty, staff, guests, I would like to present to you the Portland Community College 2026 candidates for graduation.
Sydney Angel Mercado.
Jorge Zepeda.
Tiffany Marie Seether.
Melinda Pierce.
Mailing Yi.
Ava Rivera Melchor.
Megan Murphy Klebosis.
Jarandolin Shanta Creech.
Mary Jane Sharia Dupuy.
Adriana Marie Galladay.
Autumn Gonzalez.
Ebony Gulptil.
Angela Stephanie Nickens.
Savannah James Walker.
Marcus Williams.
Giovanni Lopez Martinez.
Jackie Alonzo Hernandez.
Ricardo Ruiz.
Jesus Ruiz Chavez.
Coleman Cersei.
Koleko G. Whitaker.
Jennifer Molina Jimenez.
Leticia Duran Rolon.
Anna Harming.
Leona Wallace.
Asma Shuek.
Mira Lorena Beloso.
Juan Manuel Cardenas.
Doralicia Cardona Gomez.
Daniela Contreras Ramirez.
Anna Estrada. Haley McLucas.
Evelyn Lisbeth Anguiano.
Valentina Bauza Esteli.
Lacey Lavon Brynolson.
Jessica Chavez Aguilera.
Naylene Acosta Estrada.
Pamela Jasmine Lacatus.
Jenny Lopez Jimenez.
Evelyn Lopez Pineda.
Leon Mofuz.
Juan Carlos Nahara Espinoza.
AJ Moore.
Jacob Epstein.
Rachel Cleaver.
Benita Manuela Torres.
Guled M. Amdi.
Cindy Smith.
Kelly Ann Parkhill.
Zaira Naomi Martinez Guerrero.
Perla Velasco Hernandez.
Andre Rivera.
Lynette Salazar.
Melissa Jimenez.
Rebecca Van Helder.
Lily Xiong.
Malak Amir Maluki.
Kamar Amer Maluki.
Chris Sargent.
Howie Shia.
Raina Groen Bernstein.
Randy Joe Erickson.
Yi Chen Song.
Milioni Hagos.
Kairi Dianache Valier.
Sharon Bybee Canales.
Andrea Melissa Gonzalez Amazon.
Brittany Darelise Gaona Mercado.
Chaman Win.
Eliana Vargas.
Samira Yusfi.
Angela Maldonado.
Whitney Mosier.
Yahir Serenteno.
Abigail Arteaga Manzo.
Melissa Mateo.
Monkisa Ben.
Tia Youssef Dabney.
Rebecca Andreka.
Abril Arcega Suarez.
Natalie Mendez.
Oceana Eaton.
Michaela Charles.
Isla Ajic.
Emily Pike.
Lien Hua.
Nicole Jareen Steele.
Nikki Dennis.
Yasmin Jama Yusuf Elmi.
Alyssa Blair Moretz.
Lupita Velazquez.
Jonathan Allen Hart.
The following students are candidates for Associate of General Studies. Tony Yazinlo.
Thomas Alexander Santiago.
Kira Jalen Accord.
Kia Scarrett.
Iman Abbas.
Lucia Teresa Suarez.
Stacy Sanchez Cardenas.
Catherine Sanchez Cardenas.
Nee Van.
Areli Pacheco Escalante.
Lindsay Carmalt.
Linda Denowden.
Manar Isa.
Cara Tien Cox.
Simona Lee Allen.
Julie Ann Katungo.
Paige Allison.
Raleigh Burris.
Edith Giselle Chi Garcia.
Faiza Hassan Ali.
Kaylee Sari Alkidi.
Inez Bote.
Emma Agabo.
Cindy Josette Agreda.
Mohadisa Amadyar.
Aaron Assay.
Tarina Bagua.
Madison Bailey.
Emma Jane Baldwin.
Benji Peter Benderovsky.
Catherine Susana Ayala.
Charlotte Bauer.
Reese Botman.
Agranesh N. Bogatli.
Kaylee Elise Vader Bongolan.
Melanie Bourbon Tabades.
Kyle Anthony Bowen.
Frederick Boyd.
Jackie Bravo.
Molly Ann Brennan.
Rebecca Ann Bretta.
Graciela Briseno Ya.
Mandy Brown.
Aaron Lamar Burrow.
Craig Brown.
Kelly Ray Calavet.
Molly Kathleen Campbell.
Catherine Joy Cantrell.
Summer Elizabeth Caro Appleby.
Rosa E. Carvajal Lopez.
Saoirse Chance.
Miriam Nara Shapiro Luboff.
Manuvith Chu.
Man Ching.
Rashad Cook.
Fiona Rose Crown.
Iquatia Rochelle Cunningham.
Asaya Kalima Kutchin.
Lindsay Davis.
Nova Marie Davis.
Hollyann Marie Delp.
Grayson Dickinson.
Nikki Dominguez.
Mac Donahue.
Samantha Cotton.
Taqwa El Taif.
Aspen Erickson.
Samantha Hernandez.
Jesse Espino.
Ryan Michael Evans.
Robbie Fields.
Peyton Fitzgerald.
Cara Faust.
Colin Fracasso Boone.
Daisy Galeana Cortez.
Daisy Garcia.
Nicole Gardera.
Alexis Garza.
Stetson George.
Caitlin Rose Glanz.
Dominique Pina Gonzalez.
Maria Victoria Gonzalez.
Jasmine Gonzalez Mendoza.
Sharayla Capri Green.
Callum Francis Hanawalt.
Mallory Hankey Doherty. Sorry.
Kaylee Harris.
Akil Hayes.
Myra Raeli Hernandez.
Jessalise Hernandez.
Aiden Sue.
Megan Hutchinson.
Paola Valentina Inciarte Zavala.
Alik Jacob.
Natasha Cantor.
Alan Currian John.
Emma Shea Lavelle.
Nilo Lum.
Kylie Marie Larson.
Lily Taylor Larson.
Mandy Linville.
Galilea Lopez Chiquito.
Owen Louie.
Zaria Jarvis Lumson.
Virgilio Marin Valderbano.
Nathaniel Martins.
Josh Bell.
Eleanor Harriet O'Neill.
Ukash Hussein Sadiq.
Samrawit Tegaling Casa.
Monique Shalene Griggs.
Tristan Wright Wood.
Noah Leroy Lecomte.
Aaron Liebelt.
Mackenzie McCormick.
Alondra Marina McHugh.
Cornelia Evelyn Miller.
Emily Miller.
Izzy Minguela.
Celeste R. Maquia Vargas.
Eugene Evangeline Porter.
Amma Morrison.
Alexandria New.
Trong Nguyen.
Cynthia Kayoko Namermir.
Jessica N. Cardenas.
Brittany Michelle Odom.
Kemi Olajuwon.
Mariah Labonte.
Elijah Owens.
Marcelina Pablo Garcia.
Blanca Para.
Emma Peterson.
Glenn Phillips.
Ain't Yamon Poo.
Courtney Porter.
Alice Ann Nelson.
Melissa Prayer.
Giles Jacob Monler Qua.
Elliot Ramsey.
Danny Rothke.
Andre Lehman Campbell.
Dante Riley.
Danny Robertson.
Rebecca Rose.
Lucas Z. Rodriguez.
Jared Rojas.
Jeremy Sebastian Romano McKetty.
Fiorella Dalia Romero Lopez.
Jacob Peavy.
Trinity Ann Nunez.
Thi Nak Deep Win.
T. Chao Nguyen.
Jasmine Alage Paredes.
Litsi Para Maldonado.
Miranda Melvin.
James Christopher Mlotha.
Diana Marie Rosales.
Alexander Joaquin Roa.
Kevin Bell.
Muna Ahmed Sadiq.
Sania Samreen.
Juani Santiago.
Lindsay Sticka.
Kelsey Schreiner.
Michelle Martin Guanuche.
Damar Mitchell Scott.
Manav Sharma.
Ashley Simmons.
Sharon Singh.
Paisley Somerville.
Lucas Christina Southard.
Desiree Alexis Scott.
Michael Stone Doan.
Tina Tabrizi.
Tasmina Tareen.
Joseph Eric Talbot.
Dakota Taylor.
Aspen Torres.
Alex Torres Garcia.
Ella Tran.
Emily Ann Turner.
Saul Urzua.
Danielle Vega.
Leslie Villanueva.
Gabriela Virueta.
Amanda Wilkins.
Colin Wilson.
Samuel Wilson.
Brandy Wright.
Ash Zender.
Kapow Pa.
Tram H. Trin.
The following students are candidates for the Associate of Applied Science. May Adkins.
Clover Casey.
Isabel Mavis Evans.
Michelle Gunter.
Julia Asia Melcher.
Mesa Sandal.
Priscilla Morales.
Sarah T. Williams.
Pattison Wilson.
Kim Accord.
Adam Lee Schultz.
Jason Talbot.
Nikki Westland.
Elijah Jonathan Fritz Raphael.
Jonathan Caldwell.
Kate McCulick.
Chandra Nicole Schultz.
Jesse Amoroso.
Nayeli Michelle Plancarte.
San Juana Elizabeth Cruz Frausto.
Tony Santos Gonzalez.
Ethan Morris.
Brandon Rosati.
Cameron Button.
Edgar Palacios.
Amanda Tracy.
Lucy Ann Bryce Blaine.
Stephanie Stoddard Clift.
Molly Delgado.
Rowan Gomez.
Simon Anton Ebert.
Allison Hedrick.
Kyler Stevens Fow.
Giselle Vera.
Chris Bernard.
Michael Anthony Sanders.
Carolyn Rose Soapman.
Gabrielle Dalila.
Anne Trong.
Brandon Calzadia.
David Chavaria.
Kyle Stephen Corney.
Nathan Marcel Dubé.
Matthew Hopkins.
Tarzan Flores.
Pat Limtian Lee.
Bradley Van Orman.
Aden Orlowski.
Kylie Marie Schroll.
Jen Hill.
Denilson de la Cruz.
Shiloh Rocky.
Jeremy LaRusso Godlove.
Damon Rodriguez.
Erica Duzan.
Justin Frazier.
Tay Park.
Monica Luckman.
Alfredo Perez Urbina.
Elisa Rosas.
Josias Delgado Loza.
Miguel Varela.
Paige Calais.
Mariana del Carmen.
Evan Dennis.
Anthony Ponce.
Saul Bravo.
Ian Champeau.
Connor Kelly.
Jonathan Reyes Renger.
Connor LeMay.
Ivan Perez Zamorano.
Colin Matthew DeMar.
Isaac Fern.
Nevaeh Harmon.
Joe Litchfield.
Drianne Monet Parks.
Tran Pham.
Pavlina Vasilevsky.
Beverly Larkin.
Lizeth Torres.
Brent Begay.
Mirko Felicioni.
AJ Hintz.
Naveed Sahil.
Greg Seatman.
Elijah Samoko.
Armagan Kadiri.
Diana Jasmine Rabadan Aguilar.
Erica Salvador.
Kate Hedrick.
Kelly R. Dudko.
Giselle Alvarez Sanchez.
Joanna Marlene Santos Brambila.
Lindsay Hoffman.
Kelly Waldrop.
Rory McMahon.
Scott Beard.
Jesse Oliver Medley.
Luis Rita.
Timothy Lester Anderson.
Christian Bilton.
Matthew Coningsby.
Yadira Guillen Ramos.
Ashlyn Staley.
Gray Fowler.
Elizabeth Haniz.
Alicia McMahon.
Josue Daniel Avila.
Shalinda Leanna Lewis.
Jenny Hibden.
Jordan Grosser.
Crystal Nicole Monsier.
Angela Kamuka.
Nichelle Ackerman.
Taylor Arnold Beeson.
Kathleen Mary Hillary.
Anna Elizabeth Bottom.
Amelia Rayana Avilar.
Alyssa Calix.
Oliver Jason.
Barrett Coleman.
Vanessa Velasco Martinez.
Lexi Allen.
Wandile Jean-Paul Mapelli.
Luke Zong.
Taya Robin Kirsch.
Jordan Cullenburn.
Beth McCamish.
Jared Manguita.
Kat Fetsomfu.
Megumi Reese.
Gwendolyn Scott.
Rusty Trim.
Liliana Marie Waite.
Adrian Bratner.
Aubrey Bitten. Brianna Veeder. Radha Patara. Brianna Veeder. I don't know where we are now. Jackie Cervantes. Min Chia. Hannah Couture. Wendy Davenport. Laura Elizabeth Crane. Gabriel Finley. Maggie Fitch. Tanya Gunda Gilchrist. Alexandra Gould. Stefanida Ivanov. Annabelle Jones. Paige Elizabeth Kioshos. Bailey Luthi. Stephanie McCurdy. Tanya Pleshakova. Magdalena Popasoy. Katie Rodriguez. Mariangelis Romero Marcano. Ingrid Carla Teles Rosales. Vivian Varela. Greer Sund. Arturo Solorzano. Dot Wynn. Tyler James Lucky. Caitlin Clark. Brian Dean. Michaela Fernando Sikina. Princess Frere. Anna Leili Mata Jacobo. Ixuro Piachoki. Lauren Riddle. Nevea Secret Yapple. Laura Guerrero. Alejandra Herrera Cepeda. Marie Bakari. Aurelie Sainz Mendez. Yeva Voronova. Jeremy Kolkman. Luke Hill. Tamara Whitelaw. Stephanie Hampton. Christina Nicole Bissonette. Cecilia Diojuan Leal. Rain Rue. Michelle Parsley. Emily Joanne Miller. Wendy Knoll. Elijah Long.
Trinity Susan Stoppa.
Kira Willard.
Hannah Charity Fleck.
Andrew Rasmussen.
Mariah Duncan.
Rasmia Mustafa.
Leticia Gamino Camacho.
Katie Elizabeth Schroeder.
Quentin Inman.
Heen Win.
Elliot Lawrence Ware Ingle.
Andrew Joel Johnson.
Andrew Corrado.
Marcus Wayne Rose Jr.
Quinn Crawford.
Gabriel William Mendes.
Theodore Hardy.
Morgan Connell.
Anja Elizabeth Layton Dellum.
Stephanie Marie Dunn.
Zach Devin Robert Stevens.
Owen Ashley.
Cody Hayduck.
Marianne Harper.
Kyle Lamb.
Khalid Abdul Kadir Nur.
Mudalij Duminda Jayawar Dahana.
Braulio Ferreira.
Alejandro Rengo Garcia.
Derek Riley Ford.
Brandon Blackford.
Bertha Williams.
Kirsten Cornell.
Lindsay Long.
Citlali Ibarra Hernandez.
Helen Sanabria Silva.
Kaylin Ray Jackson.
Kelly Chen.
David Vong.
Yusuf Mohammed Yusuf.
Michaela Brown.
Frida Karime Aviles.
Megan Zavalas.
Enrique Vargas Lopez.
Mitchell Crooms.
Arjuna Dingman.
Catherine Denise Foster.
Shane Coppola.
Ella McDuffie.
Nicholas Riley Meza Honea.
Jenny Mae Sauter.
Taylor Sigmund Stannis.
Heather Marie Stokes.
Natalie Marie Venegas.
Colin Youngren.
Noah McGarry.
Devin Marcel Whitaker.
Edward Del Cid.
Logan Hartnell.
Joanne Sanan Jean Charles.
Maeve Davis.
Jackson Lamb.
The following students are candidates for Associate of Science. Shafa Abdulali.
Xander Aaron Adams.
Varsha Venkata Sai Adara.
Advait A. Ajay.
Martha Anai Aguilar Gaona.
Advait A. Ajay. Is this Leanne? Leanne Alsada.
Cindy Aranda.
Juana Arevalos Lopez.
Tamarine Arnold.
Ivan Eduardo Butterba.
Nathaniel Lawrence Dean Beller Bubel.
Elijah Blado.
Echo Dawn Blue.
Brenda Gandhi.
Victoria Bushumad.
Connor Castillo.
Hazel Cleveland.
Hillary Lemus Pineda.
Anthony Michael Criado.
Jenny Davis.
Georgia De Thomas.
Vi Cora Eleanor Dean.
Ian Donaldson.
Maria Garcia Leon.
Andres Garcia Perez.
Roberto Andres Granillo.
Hunter Henry Hake.
Lydia Segane Hailu.
Brian Jalay.
Leila Itza Juarez.
Kushi Kalia.
Betsy Kelly.
Jared Lee Kimball.
Megan Kish.
Lily Kutch.
Luis Manuel Lecona Arias.
Brandon Jesus Lemus.
Courtney Eden Vietzky.
Iliana Guadalupe Lopez Carrillo.
Bobby Zen Lower.
Angelina Manzo Flores.
Maria Siobhan McNear.
Rama Ali Mukhtar.
Chinemeram Awuzu Ruike.
Yulitza Ortiz Hernandez.
Ubisha Malachi Patterson.
Caitlin Ledoux.
Monique Phelps.
Anna Marie Pulaski.
Deanna Giselle Rodriguez Angel.
Santana Marie Saldana.
Matilda Jane LaRue.
Paige Schmier.
Dylan Schrader.
Brian Luna.
An Kwang Win.
Thomason Olatunde.
Hannah Kiflam Shifera.
Brendan Timothy Simmons.
Gerald F. Smith.
Colin Stafford.
Mackenzie Rivers Starr.
Jason Talavera.
Maxim Turai.
Theo Thompson.
Skitter McMillan.
Sayaditya Pabaraju.
Maya Abdullah Hasune.
Daniel Arellano.
Christopher Thweet.
Xavier Breaker.
Veronica Vasiliou.
Nimsi Beverline Vergara Letterly.
Ryan Patrick Warner.
Hermone Wolde.
Sindri Woodard. Kingsley Zhu.
The following students are candidates for Associate of Science Oregon Transfer Business. Brian
Boardman.
Barra.
Yari Rodriguez Ruiz.
Norman Chris Bennett.
Kendall Bollinger.
Inara Good.
Vanessa Nicole Marquez.
Riley Rose Merriman.
Theodore L. Pittman.
Grant Totten.
Olivia Oksana Awad. Tam.
The following students are candidates for Associate of Arts, Oregon. Mariah Aguilar.
Kiara Cyphers.
Metzli Adili Barajas Garcia.
Jaden Barth.
Josephine Eleanor Baumgartner.
Enrique Dominguez.
Lilia Lee.
Porter J. Bukta.
Hala Barham.
Ireland Cologne.
Danina Duncan.
Callisto Galatea De Agostini. Jaden Forrester.
Hayward Demison III.
Kevin Fernandez Cruz.
Kaylin Dane Gardner.
Ahmed El Tanani.
Matthew Gutierrez.
Maria Carter.
It's me.
Nak King Yoon.
Miu Mori.
Moika Tashima.
Joshua D. Alejo.
Alexis Demit. Jennifer Barbosa.
Xavier Adamenes.
Stephanie Miclan Chavez.
Neelam Asher.
Lauren D. Eldridge.
Bo Young.
Kyrie Ng.
Vanessa Perez. Alicia Renee Handy.
Kyla Ray Harris.
Salal Herman. Neve Hudson.
Cameron Ingram.
Kenny Jockers.
Lily G. Hai Kang.
Olivia Lori Katz.
Xenia Klistoff.
Rachel Elizabeth Knock. Caitlin Faith Lang.
Abdel Rahman Ibrahim.
J. Lynn McAvery. Mason Torres Garcia.
Maiton. Avenel Nice.
Tucker Anthony Olstad.
Haley Hope Olsted. Jovita Ramos.
Benjamin Robertson.
Justine Rubel.
Lisette Areli Sanchez Mendoza.
Leslie Santoyo Rosas.
Jessica Schultz.
Reed Sarayo. Randy Alexander Cortez Solis.
John Matthew Soden.
Tesfa Brooke Tamene Tadisi.
Skylar Tate. Casey Vu.
Brigitte Vargas Avila.
Milo Weisgerber.
Aurora Shailene Wells.
Cliff
Nicholas Wist.
Mariah Francis Kerr Silva.
Carla Zamora Bonilla.
Dayanara Huitron Castañeda.
Weston Scott Carper.
Tomás Francisco Pascual.
Danielle Wachter.
Esmeralda Lugo Ramirez.
Drusilla Shiki.
Elena Mia Reeves.
What? Swell Al Mahmoud.
Lindsay R. Phillips.
Ariana Unique Moorhead.
DeForest Quasi Jackson.
Christopher. Oh. Fariha Naibare.
Christopher Pierce.
on behalf of the faculty and the academic deans, we recommend that the diplomas, certificates, and degrees for the graduating class of 2026 be conferred.
Thank you, Dr. Ernst. First of all, students, there have been many individuals who have supported your experience, your journey, and success here at PCC. Parents, loved ones, friends, PCC faculty and staff. Students, if you could join me in giving another round of applause for all your family and friends and faculty and staff that have shown you support. Thank you. And now, upon the recommendation of the faculty, the administration of Portland Community College, and by the power vested in me by the state of Oregon, it is my pleasure to confer upon these students the diplomas, certificates, and degrees earned along with all the rights and responsibilities associated with the conferral. Students, please follow me through the official rite of passage of becoming a college graduate. First, make sure your tassel is on the right side. Make sure it's on the right side, okay? And then move it from the right to the left side of your cap. Friends, family, faculty, staff, students, members of the board of directors, I present to you the class of 2026. You are now graduates and alumni of Portland. You can stand and celebrate.